Welcome and thank you for listening to the Muses of the Crystal Lotus.
Hi, welcome to another episode of the Muses of the Crystal Lotus. We have Stephanie Lanham with us and Tina Dolan and Tennille Spencer. Today we're going to be talking about the Chakra Balancing Education class that we have online. And we're going to let Tina answer a bunch of questions about the chakras and some of the information that's in the class to help you understand what it does for you and how it will work for you. So we're going to turn this over to Stephanie to make her introduction. And then we're going to jump into Tennille, and then we'll go to Tina.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stephanie with Rediscover Health. I am the holistic nutritionist, health coach, and herbalist of the Crystal Lotus shop. And as Shauna was saying, we are diving into a little bit about the Chakra Balancing Educational Series, which is very new to the new platform that we're using, which gives access to the classes at your convenience. So it's now an on-demand program, which is why we really wanted to touch base with it today and let you guys know what all it entails and how we all contributed our knowledge to help share with you how you can open and balance your chakras.
Okay, Tennille.
Hello, everybody. Good morning, I think, depending on when you're watching this. I am the massage therapist at the Crystal Lotus shop, Natural Healing Massage. And I kind of gave information on mudras, mantras, and yoga poses for each chakra and essential oils that can be used with each chakra and where to place them and how they work and lots of good information.
And why it's so good and feels so good.
Yeah.
And now introducing Ms. Christina Dolan, and she's going to tell us a little bit about the chakra balancing class and what the chakras are.
Well, my name is Christina Dolan, but a lot of people call me Tina. I seem to be doing a lot of different videos on this chakra balancing. I do the introductions. I explain what the chakras are on each one. And then I also talk about what constitutes showing how you could tell your chakras are blocked. So I do about 3 in each one of these weeks. So anyway, in talking about chakra balancing, it is a online program that we put out there, and we have 7 days. Actually, we have more than that because we have the day of introductions. But we will go and talk about each one of the chakras, about the different things, whether it be like with Tennille with the mudras and mantras and yoga, Stephanie with her online food choices that you can use. I think of the best way to put that. I was going to say our cook.
But our herbalist.
Yes. So she talks about the different foods that you can have to eat with each of your each chakra, as long as the different herbs and such that you can use as well. And Miss Shauna talks about crystals. And our little lady who's not here today, because she says her internet's wonky. So she won't be able to join us. And if you see my camera moving a little bit, it's because I'm trying to get comfortable where I'm sitting here. But anyway, each one of the chakras, there's a day that we go over. We have a day of talking about everything, and then we'll take a different chakra each day. And then we'll also have the conclusion, the very end, about going over everything. And at the end of each session, at the end of the classes, you will receive a series of questions that we'll give you to answer. That just verifies for us that you're understanding the information and that you have finished the videos for that. So because we do give a certificate at the end that shows that you have taken it.
So Tina, I'm going to interrupt you for a second.
Oh, right ahead.
Because I'm curious as to, well, I mean, I know the answer, but I'm sure our viewers are also curious as to what the importance of opening your chakras is. What is the importance of opening your chakras?
Well, the importance of opening your chakras and them functioning correctly is to, when your chakras function correctly, you have the good energy that flows into the body. And as you're bringing in the new energy, it spins out the old or used energies. So that way you have a constant flow of good energies that will keep your chakra and body functioning correctly. If it's completely shut down, which is one of the possibilities, you could have all kinds of different ways that your chakra will not be functioning correctly, meaning it's not completely open. Or it can completely shut down, means that you're not getting energy at all. And when that happens, or not enough energy, it can affect the different organs and the different parts of the body that is connected with that particular chakra. And so by having them running optimally, you can also have more energy for yourself, and you feel better, and your body can function correctly to keep you healthy.
Okay. So, Shauna, in the last episode that we recorded, we talked a little bit about the aura photos and how the aura photos was able to visually capture your, I guess, where it is, your energy levels. Okay.
Which ones are open and such. Yeah.
So my question then would be, if you had an aura photo done at the last session, and then you went through the Chakra Balancing Educational Series, would you potentially see a change in your aura?
I think you probably could, because as Tina said, once those chakras are open, it's channeling all that energy through the body. So as it's pushing through, it's pushing out all of that low energy, so to speak, and it's recharging everything. So yeah, I would say, let me put this in. Sandra Lambert, who does the aura photos, I'm going to try and have her come back for next month. And we want to see what kind of differences actually show up, because we've been doing a lot of chakra work ourselves, on ourselves and on each other. And we've also been doing a lot of intuitive eating and meditations and things like that.
Massage work.
So, well, I would be curious to see what kind of changes come up in the aura photos with all the extra work that we've been doing.
I think mine would be totally white if it's not going to. I know that.
Does intuitive eating include pizza?
Well, you know,
intuition said I needed it real bad.
Well, pizza is a well-rounded food.
Okay.
So.
Well, pizza is a little bit of everything. So yes, you can say it.
You get your meat protein, and you get your carbs from the crust, and you have your vegetables and dairy, you know.
So then I have an additional question. I think we'll lead into that a little bit later on in next upcoming episodes. Intuitive eating and pizza, yes. But I have an additional question then. So Tennille, for the purpose of the Chakra Balancing Series, you said that you contributed the mudras, mantras, and yoga poses. Is there a connection, or can there be a connection between massage therapy and chakra work?
Yes, and it really just
curveball question.
Flows can affect different parts of your body that can ache, so massage can help with that. Reiki can be given during massage because that energy comes through your hands, but then again, you can't give it to people without communicating that you're doing it. So if there's open communication, you can do Reiki healing while massaging. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But massage work is physical body work, so areas that can be tense and tightened because of closed chakras, yes, it can help release that. It also can help release emotional trauma if the client's ready, that could also have that chakra blocked.
Okay.
There is times, you know, I'll work on someone. I'm like, does a certain emotion come up when I'm touching this? You know, do you have a certain memory? And they'll say yes. And I'll be like, are you ready to let that go? And they'll be like, no. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not gonna, when you're ready, come back and we'll move that out. So that kind of correlates with it too, I guess, with the emotional, physical, and energetic blockages.
I think that would be a wonderful topic for future episodes, is the emotional connection to stress knots and things like that. So
Yes.
I'm seeding Easter eggs here for upcoming episodes.
Write this one down.
Write it down. I'm not as good as like a Marvel TV show though, where it's like subtle overlay, but whatever.
Not exactly subtle, dear.
It's not subtle.
If you're wanting to talk about different topics for new episodes, I would love, seriously, for Tennille to talk about glutes, because I've heard a lot about how stress is carried in the glutes.
Listen.
Anger and hate and frustration and all of those rare emotions. Our Mars, basically, we're going on astrology there, is stored in your glutes.
Listen, the last time that I had a glute massage, it was painful to the touch. Like she could barely, she had to use the cups because she could barely touch my hips and area because of how painful it was. I hold a lot of tension there.
But how'd you feel after?
I felt like I was walking sideways.
I only did one side of her, that's why.
Yeah.
I normally don't do it. I just didn't have much time.
Tennille, I did have one of your clients come to me and say that we ought to do a disclaimer about your massages.
Massage drunk.
Massage drunk.
Oh.
He said he felt drunk after you were done, and I was like, well, that's just the
that's
release
just
of all that tension, you know. And he was like, yeah, but if I walk out here and I get a ticket for driving drunk, I'm gonna send them directly to you.
Do it.
I said, send them down. They probably need a massage.
Yeah.
It's like after a Reiki session, I have to have them center before they even move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to have them sit there. So I had one lady who jumped right off the table after she got up and she about face planted. I had to catch her.
Yep. The
So
very
I've done
first time.
I tell people that too whenever I'm doing balancing, or opening. It's like, don't sit up too quick, because that energy flow is going to throw you off balance from where you were when you laid down. And yeah, some of them try to just jump up and I feel great. And then they're like hanging onto the bed.
Have you seen the commercials for the floating pods?
Floating pods.
It's they're bed, they're like pools almost, but the water on the inside of the pool is so dense that you virtually float. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to just help you like release every little bit of tension in your body because you're suspended in dense water floating.
Kind of like floating in the womb, right?
Yeah.
I didn't think of it that way, but yeah.
My problem with that is that I know a lot of people that would love to try something like that, but they're claustrophobic and they suffer from anxiety.
Mine's
And
not
being
claustrophobic.
closed in like that, they'd more likely drown themselves trying to get out.
There's
Like I said, mine's not being claustrophobic. Mine's the fear of water.
oh yeah.
Well,
There in the last video commercial that I saw on Facebook, I think it was someplace up in New York or somewhere like that. But they actually is there?
Yeah.
They had a room that's like a log cabin style with a hot tub type pool. So you're in a room that's open and it's not like the pod, but they do have the deprivation pods where they're like completely cutting you off from all senses, which I think that would give me a panic attack. So I'd have to have something a little bit more hot tubby kind of.
Great time to meditate.
Mm-hmm. It would be.
Yeah.
I don't know that I could do that. I mean, that's like I said, it's like being enclosed in mama's womb, because you're surrounded by dark. You can still hear some sounds, but you're in this water. And since I was a premature birth, I don't know how I would react to being stuck in that, because I don't know what trauma was involved there in the birth.
That's a good point.
I think probably I would be happier with the hot tub and a big bottle of wine.
Or just the claw bathtub. I'm still working on trying to get one of those.
Hey, I showed you one. I don't want to hear it.
I did want one. The one down in the what is Chandler's? Is that the name?
Chandler's.
Yeah, they've got one in the window. And I eyeball it every time I drive past. Like, oh, I want to take you home.
Well, you know, Mr. Chandler's a very, very kind man. He could probably work something out with you.
I want to take you home. I have no place to put
Big
it.
claw bathtub? Is that what we're talking about?
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am. I'll help you test it out.
I know. I do.
Where my mind just went. Okay, just
All right. So back to the
We
chakra balance.
digress again.
we digress.
So the Chakra Balancing Educational Series, we talked about being now on demand so that anytime a person wants to sign up for it, they can and have access to it. And Tina touched a bit upon, it is an 8-week series, and there are the way the on-demand program works is instead of the daily emails, what they get now is access to the modules week at a time. And so all of the root chakra information is now in 1 week, and they have the whole week to take in all of the information, to do the exercises that are provided, and try to incorporate all of the information learned for that week into their routine to open and balance that particular chakra. So then my question would be, and I'm sure a lot of people that are interested in this program and really considering it, how long does it take to open and balance a chakra?
I think that depends on how tightly it's closed, isn't it, Tina?
Well, yes. Actually, it's their ability to channel that energy into that chakra. Sometimes they don't get it right. It'll go every which way. By following the different methods, now, one way to test them for sure is to use the pendulum and see how it swings to see what it is at that moment.
Mhm.
But in this program of going through it, that gives you better ways to keep it open for a longer period of time and make it flow correctly. Because we're touching on mudras and mantras and yoga and colors and,
Sound.
food and
Frequency.
Yeah.
So by doing everything along those lines, that helps you to keep it. Once you can get it open, that helps you keep it there. And it also will help in the long run to get it to function correctly. But once it's there, you'll help keep it open.
Okay,
Well,
so
because the energies that come in with Reiki energy, that's frequency. The mudras, the sounds and stuff, that's
Right.
frequencies.
Colors.
When you're adding colors, colors have frequencies as well.
Mhm.
Oils have frequencies.
Mhm.
Food has frequencies.
Mhm.
When you get all of those things, including crystals, sound, all of that, when you get all of those together in the same frequency group, doesn't that make it work faster?
It can. It can help get it open. But for me, once it's open, those frequencies can help keep it open because your chakras can be quickly knocked out of whack by your emotions as well as.
That's true.
So by getting it open, by following the different methods will help you get it open, but it will also help keep it open. So when you have a panic attack or some sort of emotional trauma that you're going through, it's less likely to affect it as deeply, or if it does affect it at all.
So speaking of emotions, I don't know that we've talked about in previous episodes the benefits of doing some of the shadow work and really identifying what your emotions are and how to work through them. So in the updated version of the Chakra Balancing Educational Series, and there is a journal worksheet that helps people identify some of the, from the videos provided, some of the emotions that they're exhibiting that makes them, that I guess overlaps with having that chakra blocked. And so would going into and being able to identify their current emotional state and experience help them in the future to kind of work themselves out of that. Does that make sense? Am I stating that
Knowing
question
what your
correctly?
issues are does make it easier.
Okay.
A lot of people may have problems that they're not even aware of. Like when one of the sections I do is talking about the different things that go on with you, where mentally, emotionally, bodily, or spiritually, that can show you that there are signs that you have a blockage somewhere in one of your chakras. And each one, we go in and give description. Most of the things that we give you talk about how you can get it to work better, how to improve. But one of the things I do is I tell you what the difference are, whether it be physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual. You can have all different levels of blockage, different types of blockages within that chakra. And by identifying what you have, it can point you to which chakra is out of balance and how to go to work about getting it fixed.
So would it be also beneficial for the individual participating in the series to not only do the work at home with the mudras, the mantras, the foods, the so forth, but to also get, chakra balancing through a Reiki practitioner?
Yes, I think so. In a case, I'm going to, this is family, so I won't say who or what, but I've only met one person who totally had every single one of the chakras blocked, front and back, completely shut down. And because they were getting sick. And it turned out it's because of very hostile work environment.
Mm-hmm.
And so in order to protect themselves, they shut everything down. They did it unconsciously, but they shut everything down. It took 3 different sessions for me to tell her how to go about protecting herself so she wouldn't do that anymore. So the third time, they weren't shut down. They weren't up. They weren't working all correctly. But it can take a lot to throw things out, but it's very simple to get it back in order. That's why by following the other techniques and working with those with each chakra can help you keep it open and to keep it functioning.
Okay, so
Easier.
to optimize the experience of the Chakra Balancing Educational Series, would you suggest that a person spend the entire week focusing on that one chakra at a time? Or would you say to incorporate what they learned from like the first week into the second week while focusing on the second week?
Well, I would say by following each week, because you're working on one to get it functioning, then the next week, follow the second one and as you go through. And then when you're done with the entire series, you can incorporate them all together.
Okay.
And work
Balance them down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, is there anything that anyone else wants to add about our Chakra Balancing Educational Series? What you enjoyed about creating this program for participants, or anything you'd like the viewers to know?
Well, we'd like them to know that when they have signed up for the class, they receive a little box in
Each
the mail.
week. And then at the
And
end, make all
that includes the 7 chakra oils that go with Tennille's and Jeannie's areas. It includes a sampler box of Stephanie's chakra teas. So you have 7 little teas you can try. You have your chakra crystals that will be in there, or stones. And we just try to give you the tools so that each class that you go through, you have affirmations, you have mudra positions, you have yoga positions. All of that is in this nice little box that you can pull out for each week and have the tools to follow along with. And then we have a little secret surprise when you graduate. But
right. Besides
we're not going into that yet. We're not going into that yet.
In order to graduate, all of the quizzes have to be done. That's the key thing. There's 7 quizzes. There's 8 quizzes. One at the end of each week for that particular chakra, and then just a general overall. How did you do? What did you do to incorporate it, etc. What did you learn? So, but in order to get to the end and graduate, all of the quizzes have to be done.
That's right.
Tennille, did you want to add anything?
I was just going to say, I really enjoyed doing different mudras and at different, like doing your root one and then doing your throat one, and then being able to actually feel the vibrations in the different levels. I studied up some to make these videos, and it taught me so much, and I loved what I learned. from my studying and from all of you beautiful women in my life.
It was definitely a fun project to put together, and there's so much information regarding chakras and chakra work, and we did a pretty good job in this program being able to touch upon all of the various modalities, so that maybe if one of them doesn't work well for you, say you're not a tea drinker, for example, so you're not going to be able to get in the herbal component. Maybe there are some of the yoga poses or the essential oils that resonate better. So being able to touch upon all of the different things. I'm sorry, Tina.
Even sounds. We can't mention that one.
Yeah.
Even sounds.
There are frequency videos attached in the module so that you can meditate to them as well. So, I mean, there's so many different aspects that a person can focus on to help them balance their chakras. That this series is just so comprehensive, and it's a really good program, and it is available on demand. So we will be sending out links to that in the near future, hopefully around the launch of this video, so that anyone that's interested in being able to sign up and take the program at your convenience can do so. Well, we are cutting it short on time today, so we're going to close out this session. We thank you for watching and listening about our Chakra Balancing Educational Series. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, we are the Muses of the Crystal Lotus Shop. And we are also available on Spotify now, which is super exciting in case you like to listen to your podcasts instead of watching them. You can find us on Facebook at Crystal Lotus Shop, SHOPPE, and on Instagram at clswv.com. Shauna, there was a change to the website domain for right now, isn't it? Just Crystal Lotus Shop, SHOPPE.com.
Yeah, we're having some trouble with the host for the clswv.com. We're in the process of changing some things over. You can still get to the page by going the Crystal Lotus Shop, SHOPPE.com. And the reason for that is it's just all written out so that there's no problems there.
Okay, very similar to the Facebook page.
Yes.
Alrighty then. And with that being said, we will see you next time. If you have any questions, comments, topic ideas that you'd like to hear us go on and on about and incorporate into the Muses of the Crystal Lotus Shop, please feel free to leave those in the comments. And sharing is caring. Share this all around with all your friends and family. They might find some benefit in these episodes.
Come visit us at 89 Old Main Plaza in St. Albans. We're the only building on the street with a purple awning, so we're easy to find. Yeah. Big purple. And then have a wonderful day. Come back and see us soon.
See you next time.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Muses of the Crystal Lotus. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Just a reminder that this podcast is for educational purposes only. This podcast is not a substitute for professional care by a doctor or other qualified medical professionals. By listening to this podcast, you agree not to use this podcast as medical advice to treat any medical condition in either yourself or others. Consult your physician for any medical issues that you may be having. This entire disclaimer also applies to any guests or contributors to the podcast. Under no circumstances shall the Crystal Lotus Shop, any guests or contributors to the podcast, be responsible for damages arising from use of this podcast. Until next time, healthy blessings.